Welcome to D-Bros Piano, Corpus Christi's only locally owned full-service piano store. No matter what your piano needs are, we are here to help. If you're in the market for a newer used piano or modern player piano, or if you're interested in any type of repairs from minor regulation to complete restoration of any antique piano, so no matter what your piano needs are, next time you're in the market for a piano, please think of us. And from everyone here at D-Bros Piano, I want to say thank you, and please join our piano family.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, once again, Hector P, aka Mr. Worldwide, and we are back on season 2, episode 3. Oh man, dude, this year I have so much. I'm just like I got goosebumps right now just thinking about this. But the fact that I'm having power hitters, very very successful men and women on this show that I get to spend time with and ask questions every single week for the next 4 or 5 months. It's amazing. And this week's guest is, I'm just gonna let her introduce herself, but I do want to say she is a Jersey girl, so she does have that attitude, that swagger of a Jersey girl, and she's amazing. I've known her for a short time, but just our connection on Facebook and through mutual friends, she is definitely somebody I've been wanting to get on this podcast, and to be able to have her on for season 2, it's an amazing feeling. I am honored to have her as a guest, but yeah, I'm just gonna bring her on. Miss Tonya, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. And again, like I said, I'm honored to have you on the show. Like I've been wanting to have you on here. The struggle we've had to get you on through our schedules and everything else that's been going on. But I'm excited. I'm excited for what God has in store for us today, or tonight, really, and for the value that you're going to bring to our listeners. And just a big thank you again for our listeners. We are in 10 different countries. I am stoked about that because I've only been doing this for less than half a year, and to have the impact that Life of Impact has had in such a short time, I am humbled. I am honored for all of you that been following me since the beginning, and now that we're on videos, even that much more better. So let's just jump right into it. Miss Tanya, you are 36. You're
Yes.
still very young. You're a graduate from University of Phoenix. You actually graduated back in 2019. You got your bachelor's in healthcare administration. You're currently an IT supervisor for a dialysis company. You've been with them for 9 years,
hmm
and you're also an amazing entrepreneur. Of course, you have your business, Tone Motivates. Sorry, uh, you are a motivational coach. You are a writer and a co-host for a podcast called the 9010. Tell us
hmm
a little bit about yourself and what everything that you're doing right now.
Okay. Well, my name is Tonya Franklin. I am from Jersey, and I'm also known as Tone Motivates. My whole mission in life is just to simply be the person that I needed. And sometimes you never know what a person might be going through. So a simple gesture or just to, pay it forward could go a long way. And I believe firmly in ripple effects. So if I'm likely to do a nice gesture for someone, that person is likely to do a nice gesture for the next person. Um, I grew up the oldest of 4 girls. My mom was a single mom, so I'm like a second mom to all of my sisters. And I think that's around the time that I became a nurturer. So I've always been the person that people can confide in. They want my opinion. I always look at things from different perspectives. So I'm always that friend that they can call to get that, but if we tried this or if we tried that, they call me delirious optimist. So once I started, I had my son when I was 21. He's 15 years old now, Jakai. And around maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I started bumping into old friends from my childhood. And we all grew up in the same complex, and we used to record music. And back in the day, listen to 106 in Park and record VHSs and have little house parties and make mixtapes and all of that. And with reminiscing, I've seen how far they come, and I decided just to get back in there. I loved writing, but with life, things happen and it just got away from me. But I will say, since I've gotten back on my path and my journey, I can't be any happier. Literally, if I can help someone every day for the rest of my life, if I can write every day for the rest of my life, I'm genuinely content, like living paycheck to paycheck, or having a little small shack or whatever. I genuinely, um, just get something, or just I know that what I have to offer, people are out there and they need that. With everything that's going on, a lot of people feel lonely and isolated and things like that. And my whole goal is just to let people know that you're not alone. It doesn't matter if I don't actually know you. I can still care for you as though you were one of my family members. So depression is real. And a lot of people suffer in silence. And my main thing is to let people know that they don't have to, living your truth. Just go out there, do your best every day. There are no losses, just lessons. And, just to provide that support in a community that genuinely supports you with no judgment or no questions. You indulge what you want to, keep to yourself what you don't. Take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't. But it's just a safe place for people to genuinely be themselves and be able to like vent, or just discuss things that they wouldn't normally be able to discuss outside of the community.
That's awesome. And I just love how our visions for what we want to do and the legacy we want to leave are kind of like on the same track. You're about empowering others. I'm about impacting others, and I just love how we vibe. I already consider you a cousin, my Jersey cousin. So,
Yes.
uh, but all right, let's get into it because there's a lot that I want to try to unravel with the limited
Okay.
time we have. So, first of all, you are a writer,
Mhm.
and you have been featured on a magazine, Oneness.
Mhm.
And there's this article that you have on there, building self motivation. And you talk about intrinsic motivation. What
Yes.
exactly is intrinsic motivation?
So, the of intrinsic alone is just internal. So simply put, for an example, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, or whatever the case may be, or your favorite football team is playing. You don't care what you're going to do that day. You're going to watch that football game, and it's because you get pure joy out of it. So, when something's intrinsic, you don't think twice about it. You're going to make a way to do it. And a lot of people, just with being an adult and having life, we lose track of what we wanted, whether it's goals from childhood or goals that just got away from us.
Hmm.
Every day easily turns into months, years, things
Right.
like that. So to build intrinsic motivation is to apply that same thing that you get out of your hobbies or your sports or spending time with family, whatever it is that makes you tick, that brings you joy,
Right.
and applying that to get extrinsic results.
Okay. And how does somebody build that? Somebody that's not used to or doesn't find themselves having joy from within. Because sometimes, we go through life and we get unfortunately in this mindset that our happiness comes from a person
Yeah.
or a thing or a job or whatever. How do we shift that mindset from being external to internal?
Well, we can be our best friends or our worst enemies. So
Right.
sometimes you just simply put, you have to fake it till you make it. So, something that I tell my clients is I am only a step or two ahead of you. We're on this journey together. I'm simply your tour guide.
Mhm.
So the same things that I tell my clients to do, or that I create for my clients, I do it for myself as well. So, for instance, sometimes we could start with one negative thought and just snowball into everything that could possibly happen negative. Take that time out to stop. As soon as you start realizing that you're talking negative, all right, Tonya, let's stop. Let me think about this, or what am I going to do next? Let's think about the solutions to my problem instead of just concentrating on the problem. So, for instance, my first client, he was a black male, and we had mutual friends, and knew each other from the local community, but became a little closer on Facebook. And he basically was just watching everything that I was doing, and as my first client, I'm like, I'm stoked, like, I believe in me, but somebody else believes in me. And not
Right.
only that, it's not like my mom or my sister, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is a complete stranger. And he had anger issues, and it was affecting his relationships. Strictly,
Gotcha.
like simply put, he wanted to have a better relationship with his mom, with the women in his life, with his kids, and even with work. And it was affecting him around in a lot of areas of his life. And he took the courage and the time out to realize that this was an issue for him. And instead of, just being negative about it, he said, okay, well, how can I do this? And he came across my memes and my videos and stuff. And he's like, I want to change this. I want to be better. And literally what we did is I just incorporated, being conscious, having self-care, understanding that we can control how people act. We can control how we react to it.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, it takes more energy to be upset and angry than it is to let something, roll off your shoulders. Like, is you being upset about this now, going to change the situation?
Right.
And if it is a trigger for you, even realizing your triggers, if it's a trigger for you, write that down, journal it. So at least next time, if something similar to that happens, you know how to react and you don't let it trigger you because you're already conscious that it bothered you last time,
Right.
and you know about it. So literally just being conscious of the way that, number one, what your goal is. Secondly, how you're going to get there. And just small steps to take. You're not going to start off tomorrow and say, okay, I'm going to do this and just do it. It takes 21 days to either break a habit or develop a habit. But either way, it's about the same. And it's like if you're conscious about that and you know what you want and what you don't want, all you're doing is being alert to those things around you. So if you have a coworker that is a complete jerk and does everything to, try to throw you under the bus at any given point, do what you can to avoid that person. I could care less
Right.
whether you say good morning to me or not, but if I catch eye contact with you, I'm going to say good morning. And sometimes killing them with kindness, that's what gets under their skin. Not to say that's what you want to do, but just letting them know that, all right, you might be trying to irritate me, you might be trying to trigger me, but guess what? I'm not going to let you do that. Typically, they're going to go away.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're born alone. We're going to go alone. And if you're not happy with yourself first and foremost, how can you be happy with someone else? How can you pour from an empty cup? I mean, we can try, but how do you feel after that? Like crap. You want your rest, and you're anxious or sleepless or restless. Like, concentrate on you. Once you concentrate on you and you realize what it is that you want, typically the universe, God, whoever it is that you have faith in, things will move around to get what it is that you want. Don't just say that you want it, you have to put that work in as well. But there is support out there to get you where you want to be. And a lot of times, if we just change our way of thinking, it just makes you feel better. We beat ourselves up so much sometimes. Like, all right, I have this degree. What am I going to do next? Or I got this new job. What am I going to do next? Instead of being in the present moment and saying, well, damn, I worked hard for that job. Look what my degree got me. Like I'm gonna go celebrate tonight. I'm gonna go, get that mani or pedi or go to the spa or whatever. Like, just love on yourself. You know,
Yeah.
um, Something that I always do with traveling is I always take like my lingerie and stuff. And people laugh like, oh my God, what you're going to be the guy out there? And I'm like, it's not about that. But as women, we wear this stuff. Why? So we're attracted to our men, right? But why are we not wearing it for ourselves? I'm wearing
Right.
it because I feel good in it, regardless of who sees it.
Right.
So I make sure I take all of my good body lotions and sprays. I take my mask, do a little facial, and I just enjoy. Like I get in that big old bed with the big old pillows and stuff with my negligee, and I keep it moving because it makes me feel good, regardless of whether someone's next to me or not. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
That kind of, not to interrupt you, but that kind of reminded me of that saying: when you look good, you feel good.
yes.
And it's true because, like for me, I don't really dress up very often, but when I do, I feel like, hey, you know what? Look at me, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely understand that. One question I did want to ask you is: you talk about tracking your progress in your article. How do you track it? Like what format, or how are some ways that you can keep this in the forefront of mind? Because I mean, honestly, when you're going through your day and you're not used to doing this thing, that's not going to be second nature. It's going to be,
Right.
you have to see it, or okay, hey, how do you do that?
Mhm. So usually I say, so I'm a writer, so a lot of this stuff comes naturally for me because I could just get like I have tons of notebooks that I don't even use, but just because they look nice. But I can write literally about anything, and I understand that everybody's not like that. So I don't try to bog the clients down because number one, I don't want you to be overwhelmed. A lot of times, if we're overwhelmed, we can just say, all right, bump it or procrastinate. We have notes, the note app in our phone. There are motivation apps. And literally I just ask specific questions. So let's say if you had a rough day, how did the day start off? How did you feel? What were you thinking? Were you talking to yourself like, oh my God, I just spilled coffee on my shirt. I have a meeting at 10. I don't have time to do this. But you know what? I'm still going to rock that meeting out. Or you're like, oh my God, I spilled coffee on my shirt. I have to go back home. This meeting is going to suck. You know what I mean? Why do they make me do this? Like, it's all about how you approach things. So
Right.
just because your day might have started off crappy, doesn't necessarily mean it has to end that way. But if you're consistently thinking negatively, typically negative things are going to happen, So it's like if you know that on Tuesdays, because the garbage goes out on your block, there's always extra traffic and you're always late on Tuesdays, and that jerk coworker is always at the door on Tuesdays just clocking you because he know you're going to be late. Let's leave out a little early on Tuesday, or let's go a different route. So just literally jotting down. You don't necessarily have to know what it is, but as you're writing down and as those pages turn and the days go by, you start to realize what's the constants, what starts to stick out to you. Like, is it a certain time of the day? Is it because you typically skip lunch? Is it other issues that might going on that you might be projecting because you feel some way? Sometimes it's therapy. You know what I mean? Like, you
Right.
don't always have to figure it out. It's just knowing that there's something missing and that you want to change it. That's the most important thing, because I'm not a therapist. And I will be the first to say I have had a couple of therapists, and it was life changing because I didn't necessarily know what I needed them for, but just having
Right.
an unbiased person to sit that I can vent to, that, they're not going to go tell, my mom or
Right.
whatever the case may be. Like, I could appreciate that. Just a stranger listening. And I was able to realize a lot about myself with that. So just, realization and just being open to wanting to do better, you know. So the apps in my phone, the notes, you can jot down a note. You had a rough day, put it in your notes. You know what I mean? You set it and forget it. You could come back to it later. As far as the motivation, there's tons of free apps on your phone. So with that, trying to stop the negative thinking, I have these apps on my phone, and you set the frequency and how many memes you're going to get in a day. And literally, there's one that just literally tells you what you are all day. I am this. I am that. I am worthy. I am, you know what I
Affirmations.
mean?
Yeah.
So as it's coming up, this stuff is going to start to stick. You look forward to it.
Yeah.
So it does take some time. It took me months and months and months, and I'm like, am I phony? Because, my life is not all together, but I'm trying to lead these people. And, that's why I say that thing about the tour guide, because I'm not here to change your life. I'm here to help you understand and get the blueprint for what it is that you want out of life, whatever that
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
if that's knocking out the bucket list, so be it.
That
But
kind
whatever
of
it is that you want.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like Les Brown in his backstory, because I remember he talked about when he was working in an office, he literally lived there while he was starting his speaking career, and he would, wash himself in the sink and all that stuff, and he would talk about how his coworkers would say, "Isn't that the guy that talks about success?" And yet so. I mean, just to know that I want everybody to understand, when you go for success, whatever it is, whether it's business, life in general, your marriage or whatever, it's going to be a struggle. I mean, bottom line, you cannot have success without struggle.
Right.
It's just black and white, night and day. You have to
Right.
have both. So I just want to make that very, very clear, because there's this misconception that when you become an entrepreneur, or when you start, working your own business or having your own book or having your own dream, whatever, that it's going to be, okay, bam. Like some of these kids that we see on YouTube, they're multimillionaires now because of esports and everything. But even with those guys, even with these, famous YouTubers, they grinded for years
Yes.
before they became an overnight sensation. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So
Right.
you have to put the work in. And I love how you talked about uh, feeding yourself, feeding your mind, having those things constantly in your ear, constantly visualizing in front of you. Um, when it comes to affirmations, or when it comes to finding those people to listen to, or those apps to help you, what are some things that a person needs to be weary of, though? Because not everything is good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of self-help gurus out there that have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and they're leading
Hmm.
people the wrong way. So
Right.
what are some three key factors? What are three key factors that a person needs to look for when they're looking for that kind of support?
Well, first off, I love debating. So let's say in a debate, you're talking to a person, you might not know what they're talking about, but you're interested in it. Are you just going to leave that information there? Like, okay, well, we talked about blue books. I don't know anything about blue books. I like it, but I like blue books now. No, go do your research on it. So don't just run to the first person that you see. Be conscious of who you're talking to. I let people know all the time. You can Google me. You can look me up. You can have access to, my social media to see how I am on a day-to-day life. I have references. If a person genuinely wants to help, it's not going to be too much that you have to do.
Right.
But I also think that it's whoever resonates with you. When I started coaching, I didn't really know what to do, and since I put coaching on my profile, everybody and their mother, oh, let me help you with this, let me help you with that. It's expensive. I don't want to do that. I felt like
Yeah.
everyone was soliciting to me,
Yeah.
but one person came in my inbox, and for some reason, I responded. And he is the one that helped me get my coaching program off the ground. He gave me an entire blueprint on how to get clients. And I went and got my first client for the same exact amount that I paid this man. Why
Wow.
did I reach out? Why did I respond to him? Sometimes we're not listening to ourselves. We're
Mhm.
not listening to how we feel around certain people, or, when certain things are going on around you. Why do I feel this way now? Why do I
Mhm.
feel antsy, or why do I feel calm? Like, pay attention to that stuff. You want to be around peace and serenity. You don't want things that always, um, just rile you up. And with the internet, sad to say, there's a lot of stuff out there. So I would say, first and foremost, be conscious. Um, there's tons of research. You can look at scholarly articles, so at least like doctorates and students and stuff that put this stuff together.
Okay.
But just whatever resonates with you. So I like free stuff as well. So all of the apps that I mentioned are free. They genuinely do it because they want. I don't see any ads or anything.
Mhm.
Um, so usually with my clients, I give them a whole list of anything that I've used or found helpful. So that might be Audible, listening to books.
Mhm.
Maybe you might be a procrastinator. You want to jump out the window with stuff. Pick up a book from the library about procrastination, or better yet, go to the library, or look at actual books that people have written, see what people say. I'm huge on reviews. I'm reading everyone's review. If you don't got no
Right.
reviews, typically I'm not even buying what you have.
Right.
But if you're genuinely helping someone, that person is going to want to speak about it. They want you to know, like, oh yeah, Tonya's great. She helped me with this. She helped me with that. And a lot of times, like, that word of mouth, or at least knowing someone that knows something about what you want, gets you a step closer. In addition to that, I will say the internet is so saturated. I could say one of the main things that I did that changed my way of thinking a lot subconsciously is creating a different profile. So, like, I'm on Instagram a lot,
Mhm.
and I had this personal profile, Delirious Optimist, and it was cool or whatever. But once I started on my entrepreneurship and stuff, I switched over to Tone Motivates, and because that's my business, I use it more. Tone Motivates consistently is showing me motivational memes, perspectives, not to beat up on myself, to love myself every day. Like, everything that I look at, besides maybe a random happy birthday or something, is literally telling myself, love yourself. You're doing good. You're great. You're enough. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just changing that alone, I don't even pay attention to my personal anymore. I look at that like, this is disgusting. Who was this person back then? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
because my tone motivates means so much to me.
Right.
I was hacked about around the time I started with my new position. Around October, someone hacked my Facebook and my Instagram account. Tried to reach out to me to get me to pay to get it back. They scammed
Wow.
or got money from at least 5 of the people that I personally knew, thousands of dollars.
Wow.
And I was adamant, and people were like, "Oh, just create another face." I'm like, "No, I'm going to get Tone Motivates back." And it took me over a month, but I got them damn accounts back. Because that's what it meant to me. It's a passion. So I
Yeah.
was not going to let this go. I was going to do whatever I had to,
Yeah.
to make sure I get my accounts back because it meant that much to me. So when something means a lot to you, just don't give up. Consistently look for ways to get what it is that you want, to be better at whatever it is that you want. We're human. If we were all judged by our mistakes and just one mistake, not one of us would be here.
Right.
So one mistake or one setback doesn't define you, is what you're going to do next. That means everything. The time is going to pass anyway. 2023 is going to be here, whether I do anything for Tone Motivates or go to work tomorrow. The time is going to pass, right? Make the most of that time. Baby steps now is a mile a year from
I love that. I love that. I love that. Time is always passing. You can't change the past, but you can change the future for sure.
now. Right.
Okay, so I think I think that's the meat of what I wanted to get. I mean, you just unloaded. I'm glad you did because I got a lot of notes myself while you were speaking. So thank you for all that. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you wanted to touch on?
Well, my grandmother always said I was a rambler as a kid. So I literally just feel like I'm putting my rambling to work. And the only difference is people don't think I'm rambling because they want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just, my audience, I guess you could say.
Right.
But in addition to that, I do represent a group of women through an organization called Grameen America.
Mhm.
And Grameen America is a nonprofit organization that offers microloans to small business owners. It does not do a credit check. It does not do a background check. It is basically them having faith that you will pay this loan back. Literally, you could get a loan for thousands of dollars, and the interest is $160.
Oh
That's
wow.
Grameen America. You can search it online. They're spread all over everywhere. So I believe they started like in New York, but it came from across seas. It's been out for years, and it's so crazy that a lot of people don't know about it, and people are skeptical because it's like, oh, you're offering me money. What's the catch? But literally, they start out with loans as little as $500, and once you're done with that loan, you get an increment of like $500 to $750. I've recruited over 30 women over the course of maybe 2 or 3 years, and I've funded a lot of the things that I do with Tone Motivates through that. I think the last loan that I got from them was like $4,750. And as an
Wow.
entrepreneur, that does a lot.
Heck
That's
yeah.
studio equipment, a new desk, or whatever else that you
That's a
want to
whole
do.
studio for me.
Right, right, right. So, because as entrepreneurs, we struggle with a lot, and a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff that we pay for is out of pocket.
Yeah.
We're working our day jobs to fund what our passion is. So, I just want to get that out there for any women that might be interested. You can simply Google Grameen, GRAM as in Mary, EEN America, and just literally reach out to someone, and they'll let you know if there are any centers in your area.
Yeah, actually, all to my all female viewers, I'm actually gonna have that link in the description, so make it easy for y'all to go check that out.
Okay.
So okay, so now that we got the heart of the show pretty much wrapped up, let's have some fun. I'm gonna have some rapid fire questions for you, Miss Tanya.
Okay.
So you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Most embarrassing moment as an entrepreneur.
As an entrepreneur, oh my God. Honestly, just falling. I am a complete klutz. I always trip. I always fall. So my
Okay.
biggest fear is like to fall on stage. So,
Okay.
but I fell outside the street, like outside of the venue on the street.
Awesome.
Yep, believe me.
Okay. All right. So, what was your biggest fear when you started your coaching business?
So, like I was saying before, I've always been that supportive friend, that confidant for
Mhm.
everybody. So it was second nature to me.
Right.
So of course my fear is like, all right, I don't have an actual product. I'm my product. I'm selling me. So it's like, you're not going to give me money and I'm sending you a t-shirt. You have to put the effort in and literally want to listen to me and what I have to say. So just having that fear of, am I worth this? Or am I worth, because it's a price tag on that, that's
Yeah.
my worth. So
Yeah.
it's like, am I worth this? Am I worth that? So that was probably the biggest thing. And once I actually got my first client, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I am worth that. So that's all that I needed to fuel all of my future endeavors.
Awesome. The number one skill that was the hardest for you to learn to have the success that you have?
To not procrastinate. The moment that I started actually looking up gigs, looking into what I wanted to do, and started sowing those seeds, it didn't happen immediately, but literally once I started being conscious, like, all right, I'm going to do this, it
Mhm.
literally just started falling into place. And that, like, again, it goes back to the procrastination, lollygagging, so just putting that best foot forward, and literally the universe is God. He's just opened up and giving me everything that I want. I'm working hard for it. It's hard.
Right.
I feel like I'm tested all the time. Like, are you sure you want this? All right, let me give you one more test just to make sure.
Right.
But I'm grateful for it, I would say, because of that. All of the things that I went through made me the person that I am, and this is why I can talk how I do right now. So just off that alone, I don't care if I make another dollar. Me making a change in someone's life, or making somebody just sparking that thought. What I want to do? Oh, I wanted to be a skater when I was young. Let me start taking some skating lessons, or let me start taking some piano lessons. That's what brought you joy. If I could just this motivate people, not even motivate people, but just get people to think about what it is that they want for them, and how they can self-care, self-love, emphasis on self. I'm
Hmm.
okay with not making any money off of it the rest of my life.
Awesome. Okay. I had a question, but I just went blank.
Look,
Uh,
that's me with that rambling again.
yeah. No, you had said something that made me think about something else, and just kind of like, okay, wait a minute. What was I gonna ask? Okay, no. Um, oh, what is the book that you have next to your bed right now that you're reading currently?
um, right now, so the four agreements. The four agreements, and I can't tell you how many times I've read this book, and every time it's something new. But that's one of the main things I give to my clients as well. So, four agreements, you might not agree with everything depending on your upbringing and stuff like that, but it's simply being conscious of knowing that you cannot control how people act around you, but you can control what it is that you want, how you talk to yourself, and what it is that you want out of life. So it really helped me just learn how to let things roll off my back. Like, all right, it's not my fault he's a jerk. He's always going to be a jerk, probably, but that's not my business. I don't have any control over that. So me calling him a jerk is really not going to do anything. So have a good day and keep it moving.
That's awesome. I was actually hoping you say that book, but you can
Ah,
talk about that later.
look, and
No,
then they don't even know I'm blind. I took my glasses off, so I can't even really see. I'm just winging it.
that's all good. Okay, who would you recommend to listen to on YouTube or podcast as far as like a motivational speaker or success person or something like that? Who's a number
um,
one person, guy or girl?
Honestly, I can't even say guy, girl. You know what I will say? Single parents. Single parents
I like that.
are my main audience, because like, we gotta go. It don't matter if my baby's sick today. I still gotta go to work. I still gotta do this. I still gotta do that. And it's like, genuinely, as a parent, a lot of times, especially single parents, this parents period, but single parents, you don't have enough time in the day, literally, to just get enough 8 hour sleep night. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Let
yeah,
alone sit here and say, "Oh, I'm going to take a bath tonight and light some candles." Like, all right, I'm hoping my kids are asleep before I fall asleep,
right.
and stuff like that. So the single parents, it really, really uh resonates with them, and I could appreciate it because my mom was a single mom, and she's now like 56 years old. All of her girls have degrees, good jobs, we're good parents and wives, and all of that. And my mom is kind of like, what am I going to do now? Like, all right, I raised my girls, I made sure y'all were good, but what about me now? And I promise, I hit the lottery today, I'm buying my mama a house before I buy mine. But I tell her all the time, don't beat yourself up, because you did what you had to do to make sure that we were good. you know? So nothing you went through was in vain because you made sure that your girls were okay. And it's as simple as that. It's not about the materialistic things. I don't care about these houses or bags or, it's about experiences. I will hop a plane in a second. I will go somewhere for 2 days. I haven't did it by myself yet. I'm working on that besides like with work, but just experiencing things. Like when I'm old and talking to my grandkids, I want to be like, oh, me and grandpa hopped out of the plane naked when we was 55. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff they're gonna be like, yo,
whoa,
grandma,
hold
pop,
up.
pop, y'all
Time
shout
out.
out.
Time out. Hopping out of a plane, I can understand. Hopping out of a plane naked?
A hell of experience, I would say, huh?
Oh,
I'm
definitely going to be experienced for sure. I don't know if it's going to be a good one, but
and I mean,
it's definitely going to be experienced.
That might have been a little dramatic, but you know what I mean? Like that's it. They're not gonna. I mean, of course, the kids love money, but let's be honest. The kids with money and all, they don't care about that damn money. They don't care that you busted your behind for that money. They're gonna blow it as soon as you're going. We can't take it with us, But to have those experiences and for people to remember me, and the impact that I had on them, or just whatever it is that I did for them, or they felt like I did for them, is all that I can ask for. So my audience is broad. I don't care who. My message is for whoever wants to listen. I'm not for everyone. I know that my light shines really bright and it blinds some people. But at the end of the day, we could put some shades on or not look. I'm here for those who are for me. I'm for those who are for me. Anybody else, it might not be the time or the place, whatever the case may be. Everything happens for a reason. But I'm here for those who have felt like me at a time or beat themselves up, or they're so strong, but deep down it's like, I'm not enough. I don't deserve love. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. You got to build yourself back up. It's possible. It's possible. Because even with all of that being said, for a long time, I felt like I was not enough. I was not enough. Like people like, girl, would you sit down? Like I gotta Uber Eats. I gotta do this. I gotta do, and it's like, I genuinely just sit down now. I might meditate, put on some jazz music on Pandora, got my little my journal, my crystals, and I literally just sit there and jot. Even if it's a poem or, saying what my son is to me or my family is to me. It doesn't anything I feel like writing, whatever comes out. But that brings me peace. I genuinely find joy in it. And when people can start incorporating that back into their lives, I'm not like this. It goes all the way back to our ancestors and stuff. Like they lived longer because they supported each other. You know what I mean? They were there for each other, and they didn't have all the distractions that we have. So sometimes it's honestly as simple as disconnecting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see Kim Kardashian doing this and that, and then back in your mind, you're not jealous per se, but you want that Range Rover. You wish you could have this beach house. And it's like, I don't look at that. I don't want to see it. Whatever you're doing, I'm gonna support you. I'll give you congratulations and all that. But that's for my people, regular, everyday people. I don't want to look at things that might not happen for majority of the world. These are the 1-2% of people, and just knowing that nothing materialistic, or not even nothing materialistic, a person, nobody can make you love yourself if you don't. It doesn't matter how much love a person give you. They can love you more than anybody in the world. That means nothing if you don't love yourself. And you typically you sabotage, you'll do all kinds of stuff just because you don't know. It's weird to you. Oh no, this can't be real. Why would you want to be around me? Nah, you deserve that. You the prize. You're the prize. You're always the prize. Everybody is here for a reason. If you are here, you're here for a reason. And if you are at your lowest, the only way is up. Can't go no lower. You're already on the floor, So look up. You could cry if you need to. Soak. Give yourself a specific amount of time to let that flow. There's nothing wrong with crying. Crying is an outlet. Let it go, and get your behind up and keep it moving. You are not your mistakes. They do not define you, but whatever it is that you want, you have to work for that now. Stuff is not just going to fall in your lap. And sometimes it will, but you got to be able to catch it. So if you standing there and you got a whole bunch of stuff in your lap, how you going to catch something else? I'm just saying.
You're preaching over here. Trust me. I'm listening to every single thing. And I'm going to tell you what, everything you just said, I guarantee touched at least one person that's watching this. Because I know for myself, that really hit home with everything that you're saying about self-love and asking yourself, am I worthy? Am I good enough? Dealing with depression. I deal with depression every day. We can go into my backstory after we get off here if you want, but Yeah, I know a lot of people go through it, and not a lot of people talk about it. So it's good to have people like yourself that are out there willing to be that ear, willing to help motivate people and inspire people, empower people, and elevate them. And that's what we're about here on Life of Impact. So again, I am honored to have you as a guest on Life of Impact. Thank you so much for being a friend, first and foremost. And for all of you who would like to get connected with Miss Tonya and Tone Motivates, her contact information will be on the description below or on top, however it is that you're looking at it. So yeah, just get connected with her. Connect with her on social media. She's got her phone number. You can call her direct. And yeah, that's pretty much. Tanya, do you have anything left to say?
No, but I just want to congratulate you again on all of your endeavors. I see you out here working hard, boy. You go, boy. I'm proud of you, and this is the beginning of a lifelong friendship. So I'm I'm
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to see where you go in your journey.
Same here. Same here. And remember always, for those of you watching and listening, you were born for greatness. Now go walk in it.